some of the minutes were not approved due to either we didn't have a quorum or something came up. So it's not because the council didn't want to approve it, it's that we didn't have that chance of having a full quorum. I mean, and this is for benefit of the new council members to know that it wasn't that we refused to approve, is that there were certain things that happened during that time.
Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and so part of that, because I responded to all of the PAC response, so I responded to the Attorney General's office on all of these claims for each of those minutes. And part of the discussion that came out is that the minutes have to only reflect facts, not an interpretation of tone. Like if someone says something and there should be no opinionated or biased language in regards to like interpreting tone of a person or how they speak. It has to just be what was the facts, like anything that's related to the business of the LSC, but nothing in terms of reflecting like how it was said or all of that. So that came out. So, and that's why we have LSC right here, just to provide clarity on what should go into the minutes. Minutes should be properly written so that, you know, in the spirit of moving forward together. That's why they have a space in the agenda where they'll be able to provide clarity, just so moving forward we have, like we minimize some of these obstacles to approving minutes, and there's more clarity on what goes in the minutes.
Okay. So any more comments, questions? No? Okay, pause discussion and go for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
We're motion to approve the minutes.
To approve the agenda.
Oh, yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis, Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
I'll say yes. Mr. DeJesus,
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
The students,
Oh,
they are out of
So-
550, please.
Ms.
Litzy
Litzy
and
Marin.
Ms. Rodriguez.
and Camila.
Litzy and Camila.
Okay, so let's see. Say 5. So, Ms. Garcia Rodriguez, yes, to approve, and Ms. Marin? Okay, so now I guess we're 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. We continue with the next item in the agenda, which adoption for the previous LSC minutes, which is the organizational meeting from July 10. Mr. Capote, would you like to present a motion to approve your minutes?
Yes, sure. I'd like to make the motion to approve the minutes from the July 10th organizational meeting.
I second it.
Thank you. Open for discussion. And as I mentioned before the meeting I started, Mr. Caputi, I have a correction to make on those minutes, which, as you said, there is a comment where it says that previous minutes were not discussed or voted. So as I mentioned to you, that information is regard only for regular meetings, not for organizational meetings. So it's a different purposes. So I would like you to see if that comment was made during the meeting, and if not, I would like to remove that comment from the minutes, please.
Sure. Can you tell me a number? Is it number?
What number?
Of
The minutes? Right, on top.
This meeting was the annual. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
No
Okay,
previous minutes were
Yes.
discussed or approved.
right.
That comment doesn't belong to the meeting. So
number?
It's above the numbers, right up, directly above. Yeah, that's fine.
Minutes are discussed or approved.
right, because that information belongs only for regular meetings.
Right.
At organizational meeting, we discuss different stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I understand.
So did you adjust it?
Well, I can. Should we do it next meeting? Should I adjust it now or when?
Well, we need to vote those meetings and we need to remove that information because it's not supposed to be there. So we can amend the minutes, removing that comment, and then we approve the minutes.
Works for me.
So it's
So I
clear for
guess your
everyone.
motion is the minutes, but then you're gonna make a statement that you have to remove the no previous minutes were discussed or approved. So then
Right.
we know that that sentence will be taken out.
Sure.
So Veronica, do we need to make a new motion or we can just like amend the minutes?
So you can approve the minutes with the necessary corrections, or you can choose to table it until you get the minutes with the corrections.
With the
However
correction.
you want. That depends on how you want to do it.
Table?
I mean, it's up to the LSC.
So then the motion will be to table the minutes till the corrections are made.
You can table it, you don't put it up for a vote, or you can make the motion.
And then we go
Approve the
with the
minutes.
issue with not approving.
Right, approve the minutes with the necessary corrections and
Oh,
then
okay.
state the corrections.
Okay,
That's how.
I
it
So then
think
it'll
that-
be- yeah,
I
so
think
it'll
that's
be-
gonna be easiest.
Just state the
to do it.
corrections that needs to be on the minutes.
Yeah.
And then approve the minutes with those necessary.
Right, to approve them today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any comments about it?
To approve it today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do that. with the
We can
necessary-
approve it with the necessary correction.
we are going to approve it with a motion that says we're approving this minutes
With the
without the sentence that says no previous minutes were discussed or approved. Which means that when we see these again next month, that line should be up.
Right,
So that should be the
exactly.
motion.
Right.
Okay.
I can make the motion.
Okay.
I like to make the motion to approve the minutes of the July 10th LSC organizational meeting minutes minus the following line will be retracted from the current draft. No previous minutes were discussed or approved. So that will be removed. And the motion is to approve everything else.
Perfect.
I second it.
Thank you, Milton. So the previous motion was supposed to be approved down?
Yeah, we're going with his new motion.
Okay. So
But you can't,
close discussion, because we had a motion on the table previously.
because we had a motion on the table, you can't.
Before.
Put a motion over a motion. It should be,
So close that first
it
one.
should-
Close the first-
one,
right.
Bring it down and.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Close the first motion,
So Caputi, call a roll call on your first motion.
please.
So we're
On your
voting- we're voting.
original
Yes.
motion.
The original.
And then you make, once we go through that roll call, then you do your
Mhm.
motion.
Dr. Vilches,
No,
Ms. Lopez,
No.
Ms. Valentin,
no.
Camila Garcia Rodriguez, Litsi Marin, Ms. Girola,
Burrola, sorry.
Girola,
Burrola.
Girola.
No.
Mr. Keelis,
No.
Ms. Dunn,
No.
I'll vote no. Mr. DeJesus.
No.
So 10 no, 0 yes.
So now we continue with their motion. We presented, so Mr. Capote presented the motion, Ms. Dunn seconded. So
Now we can do a roll
close
for that.
discussion. Continue with the roll call to approve the minutes with the correction. Please.
Dr. Vilches,
The new motion with the retraction.
With, yes,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
yes.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Camila Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Litsi Marin, Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Caput, or yes. Is it Caputi? Caput. Mr. DeJesus? 10 yes or no.
10 votes, motion passed with the correction. Thank you. Mr. Capote.
Oh, sure.
The next item in the agenda is public participation. Do we have
We
any
do.
emails? Mr.
There was.
Capote?
Oh, right. Yeah.
We got some. That's not though.
Ms. Reed?
Okay. Can you hear me from here?
Give me 1 second. We're gonna make sure with the time.
Okay.
And Mr. Quiles, let us know when the times are running.
Go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank the administration and all my staff and peers for the support when I lost my mother last year on June 1st. I wasn't able to make it back to school, and it felt good knowing that my grades were in and I had the support of my administration. And they also sent flowers, so thank you very much. Last year in the civics class, 2 of my students were very concerned about the baseball field. They communicated it to an LSC member who was a student. And I am so proud of what this LSC did for the baseball team. And they helped create a new diamond and actually gave them a new material for the diamond. So thank you, LSC, for doing that for those students. It really did make a difference for them, knowing that they could make a difference. I just want to say that parents are so important. I hope we'll have more parent nights like this. I'd actually like to invite some to my classroom. And for all those parents here tonight, keep in there, hang in there, it's worth it. And then finally, the thing I wanted to talk about was the cell phone policy. So far, so good. I always use the pocket method, but I feel like because it is a school-wide policy, it's having a little more weight with the students, and I'm not having as much struggle with it this year. I did have a problem yesterday with one student, but security was right there and backed me up, and I'm really grateful for it. So I just hope that everyone will stay on the same page, and we'll keep going forward. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Ms. Reed.
I don't think you have an email.
Do you have an email?
Should I go?
No, hold on.
Go ahead.
Quiles.
Go ahead. Sure.
Hello, my name is Walter Bresky. One thing that needs to be pointed out to everyone here tonight, and some people seem to be confused by this, Steinmetz is a public school that's funded by taxpayers in the possession of the public, not the personal fiefdoms of Steinmetz LSC members, Steinmetz employees, or the QV mafia. Why has it been so hard for this LSC to respond to FOIA requests or to the Illinois Attorney General's PAC approved LSC minutes, post-meeting agendas, and communicate with each other? Why are LSC parent and community members refusing to communicate with the teacher LSC reps about Steinmetz and matters pertaining to the LSC, or ignoring their emails? Some LSC members tout their decades of experience, but where is this experience to bring about better communication on the LSC and to be transparent, providing information to the Steinmetz community and to each other, and to follow CPS LSC guidelines, FOIA statutes, and the OMA? Though I was shocked to see an online link for everyone on the agenda for this meeting, is this a one-time thing to accommodate CPS LSC relations employees, or will this online access be given to everyone at all LSC meetings? Also, one conversation this LSC needs to broach is the lapse in security last Wednesday in the lunchroom. How can 10 male students be able to beat on one male student without any security personnel stepping in to stop it? Where were they? This led to the beaten student's girlfriend spraying mace on 15 people, with 4 students going to the hospital in ambulances and someone calling the police. Then school administrators made things worse by arguing with the police, wanting to arrest wrongdoing students that were putting other students in jeopardy. Steinmetz says 11 security guards and another 4 to 6 school climate staffers, and not one of them was posted in the lunchroom. Where were the administrators during this ordeal? Later the same day, there was a knife threat and Steinmetz was placed on lockdown. This all came after a fire alarm was pulled earlier in the day. Both students and teachers listed school security as an issue at Steinmetz on the most recent 5 Essentials survey.
Can I keep the copy? Can I keep the copy?
Yeah, sure. Did he?
It's in the email too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to keep the copy.
Well, this was Ms.
That's
Dunn's
my copy.
copy.
Can I keep it? Thank you.
No more public participation?
We have public participation right now. You want to speak?
Someone.
Anyone?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, I'm Andres Major Carlos. We're seeking approval to have a venue in the lunchroom as a fundraiser for the seniors and ROTC.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone? No? Okay, so with that, we conclude the public participation. We move to the next item of the LSC chair report. The only thing I have to say to you is that I received the copy, I received the form to do the fingerprinting and background check. If anyone hasn't have it done or don't have the form, let me know and I can forward that information to you. And
We
with that,
can just forward it to all
right.
of us.
And with that, I conclude my report. So next item is the teacher's report.
You want to give it, and I'll give the AD report.
Sure. Teachers report. We're in the third week, near the end of the third week. I didn't have too much to report. I know several teachers, to echo what Ms. Reed said. We feel we really appreciate what seems to be a concerted effort at hallway management and tardies and cell phones, and we feel that's been a much more uniform school-wide push, which is good. I mean, these things are hard. They may work, may not, or work in part. Everyone always understood that, but we're just glad to see what seems to be a concerted effort to control the environment, because we agree that teacher engagement is the most important thing, but it has to happen. It doesn't just happen sort of like in a vacuum. We need conditions to be as stable as possible to do it. And so teachers have been very happy with that. Other than that, we're still adjusting to, a lot of transition with students in and out in classes and kind of making things level. But so I've only heard good things so far. So we're happy.
Okay, so we continue with the staff report.
Just a couple quick shout outs to the entire staff for the back to school event that we had. There was a huge turnout. A bunch of the community came out. We also did a couple visits to the Brickyard with 36th Ward, and 30th Ward was here with the vaccines, and we got the trunk or treat coming up. So a lot
Night out,
of
you guys did the night out with CPD.
we did the night out with CPD at La Follette Park. So a lot of presence at these events is very important, especially with the community, so they can see us in a different light and open up our building to them. That's the goal this year, to open up the building as much as possible. With that being said, we need people. Again, I've been saying this for 14, 15 years. It can't be the same people over and over. It does get exhausting, but we know we're doing it for the right reason. So when we see kids come in and we have family movie night and things like that, that's the most important piece for this building. To that email that was sent out, there was a culture and climate person there. That person was me inside of the lunchroom, and I'm the one that took the beating, and the kid did not get hurt at all because I sacrificed myself for that kid. So with that information, whoever's giving that person information needs to be very clear and come to the source, and I would be ready and willing to have that conversation with that person. We do not have 11 security guards. Right now we have 2 that are out indefinitely because they are hurt because of another fight, Mr. Richard Dean and Kim. She should be back in a few days from what I know. The culture and climate team is not those people that sit behind the desk and hide. They stay on the floor for the most part until the floors are entirely cleared, to make sure that we give the security guards as much support as they can. And from what I remember, it was not 10 kids on one. I want to say it was maybe 7 or 6 or something like that. But I can pull up the incident report and provide the exact number. We've had reintegration meetings with all the families. They understand that they are risking, maybe their events, homecoming, senior events, whatever they might have in the future if they continue to act this way. But at the end, we are here to protect kids. And I would do it tomorrow if I had to again, because I don't like seeing kids get hurt. So that's it.
I just want to make a comment as you echoed some of the statement of that letter. My concern, and I want it in the minutes, is again, that person has internal information of the school. So what's coming out and the emails he's sending out, he's getting them from the school, right? So shame on the folks that are using Aspen or any system that is using students' private information. Think about what you're doing, because you're releasing students' private information. And you are, whoever it is, you're breaking the law. As we're trying to do something here good for the students, you're breaking the laws. Because this person doesn't even attend our meetings or give us an opportunity to talk one-on-one to figure these issues out. But then again, he knows more details than any of us here in this local council that happened in that incident. So I just have to make that statement, because it is frustrating for us to do business, and when we are our own worst enemies, it's coming out from internal. Okay? The details. No one knows that if they're not in this building or part of the school community.
Right.
So let's think about what we're doing in our house and what we're doing to ourselves, because we're doing what we're doing out to this school, what we're doing to it, we're doing it to ourselves. And that's why our reputation is not going to change. That's why we're not doing productive things in our meetings, because we are too caught up with trying to bring each other down. And I say it again, we're going to need intervention, because Dr. V, I'm sorry, that's internal. It's internal what's happening here. So I apologize, but as a community rep, it's frustrating that I'm coming here and listening to someone write an email of internal stuff that happens in this building. And you're violating the students. You're not violating anybody else, because you're not hurting me. You're not hurting nobody but the students and the reputation of the school.
Can I make a comment? I hope you don't think it's someone sitting on this council that's releasing this information, because
I hope not.
yeah,
I hope not.
to tell you the truth, I don't even know the details of the
Yeah,
fights.
I hope not, Ms. Dunn. I just hope not, right? Because
Right.
we're all here to do business.
Right.
But we can't continue to come, Ms. Dunn, to do business when everything that's being shared by Walter is coming
Right.
from internal.
But just so you know, it's not coming from
To
me.
whoever's guilt it is, right? But
I
it's
just want that
internal.
to be clear.
But it's internal.
Right.
It's internal.
Mr.
And then
Pegasus.
the piece that I forgot, the second incident that happened out front was not a knife incident. It was a parent who was a little irate. Our safety manager, Antoine Livingston, was already on site to deal with the first incident. He's the one that made the call to the safety center to call CPD to come out. They were already here, but they had to come back for after the Mace incident. So we went on a soft lockdown to make sure that nobody entered the building, because the problem was outside of the building. So I want to make sure that a lot of people don't understand. They're scared when they hear the word lockdown, right? That's
Right.
automatically where we go. But a lot of the times it's a precautionary thing. I read something about a fire drill as well. That wasn't a student that pulled the fire alarm. That was because there's a company out working on the fire alarms, and it was triggered on accident. It wasn't a student that pulled the fire alarm. But as always, if we hear the fire alarm, we have to vacate the premises. All the students went outside as usual, what we do, and everybody came back in safely. Now that's it, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. De Jesus. Okay, so we continue with the next item on the agenda, which is the student's report.
Wait, can we do the athletic director report first?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes,
'Cause
athletic report.
she sent it to me.
Do you have it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
read it.
Ms. Dunn.
Ms. Russo wrote, "My apologies for missing the meeting. I'm at the cross-country meet. Today is the 12th annual Steinmetz Fall Frolic cross-country meet at Reese Park. We have 13 high schools and 1 middle school racing today. Thank you, Coach Urquicio, alumni and cross-country track coach, for putting together this amazing event for our students and all the athletes around the city. The meet starts at 4:30 and should end around 6:30. Things that have gone on, achievements, the soccer team defeated Rickover yesterday 4-1. The girls volleyball defeated Roosevelt in 2 sets, 25-5, 25-7. The sophomore team defeated Roosevelt in 3 sets, 16-25, 25-22, 25-23. The girls volleyball team came in second place in the Rickover Rumble tournament on Saturday. August 31st. The trophy is on the counter in the main office. The girls will participate in their third tournament on Saturday, September 21st, at Chicago Academy. 16-inch softball defeated Rickover on Monday in a doubleheader, 19-10, 17-2. Flag football will be playing host school for the CPS Flag Football League on Saturday, September 21st. There will be games from teams all over Chicago playing on our field, including 2 games that Steinmetz will play. Flag football is now an IHSA sanctioned sport, so it is exciting that we will have all these female athletes here on our campus again. Rosters have now been locked for the fall season. We pulled grades this week to remind students that passing grades are required to play, but we did not redline anyone as many teachers had not entered any grades for their classes. Students will be redlined and benched for games starting next week for failing grades. We have a no pass, no play policy, which means students need to be passing all of their classes to be eligible for competition. In terms of fundraising, the Shabona Saints football and cheerleading teams have rented out our football field for a total of 4 Sundays in September and October. The first one already occurred, and we have another one coming this Sunday. The money raised will go back into taking care of the field. The 2 October dates are October 6th and 13th. If you are nearby on Sunday, check the kids out. It's really cute seeing 7-year-olds in full gear, helmets, cleats, pads, etc. Football, we had our first home football game this past Saturday, though we did not win. It was 28-0. First bowl, and the team showed improvement, and we look, I think, good, but it's cut off. CPS has moved to GoFan for its digital ticketing. We raised $300 in ticket sales using the new card reader system, which allows spectators to pay with credit card or Apple Pay using their phones. We do not charge our own students for home games if they have their Steinmetz ID. And then in terms of security and spectators, unfortunately, we've been informed that due to a shortage of available security, there cannot be spectators at our home games. We would like to request that more coaches/staff are able to get security training so that volunteers can work at games. Not only could we lose revenue from ticket sales when spectators are not allowed, but parents get very upset when they can't see their children play. Perhaps we can compromise and allow parents but not students at home games if there is insufficient security for an event. The girls volleyball team won yesterday at Roosevelt, and their crowds were deafening. Having an empty gym with no fan support really affects the way our team plays. Whatever can be done to solve this problem, the athletic department is happy to work together to make it happen. Help at games. We would also like to ask all staff members, parents, and LSC members to consider helping out at our home games. This past Saturday, we could have used more help with field setup, tear down, scoreboard, and ticket taking. We could use more spectators and fan support at every game. The entire sporting schedule for the school's fall schedule is available on the homepage of the school website. Please come out and support the Streaks in any way you can. For any questions regarding our athletic programs, please contact Ms. Russo at rrusso@cps.edu.
That was great.
Dr. V, you can't get the red shirt security to help with those games?
No,
From,
this
like,
is citywide.
Oh,
Right
they
now,
are.
they're provided us with white coats for but they've let us know that as soon as more incidents are happening across the city, that we won't have that support. So to give just an explanation on how the security, so right now we only have one security here. We have 2 security, one leaves at 6 and the other one at 7:30. So some of the games outside go till 8 o'clock. So that means I need a security guard outside. We have 1 security allocated inside for our SCS programs, and then 1 has to be on the cameras at all times. So that's 3. So if we allow spectators, that means you have to turn on your BMS system and you have to screen parents. So that means either you're doing BMS or you're doing screening, but we have no one for the auditorium. And people have to keep in mind security. There is the bucket for OT, but they don't have to stay for OT. Like, if they don't want it, they don't want it. I mean, you can't force people want to go home. They have other lives. They have lives at
someone
home.
from other schools?
We have tried, but we don't have like that big pool. Like, we have tried, but it can't be consistent. Like, I won't know until they say yes, and then they don't come. Then I'm gonna have to turn parents away at the door. So it's better just to say we don't have the manpower at least 24 hours in advance, so that I mean, parents will be upset. However, I have to err on, there's no $300 worth getting a staff member hurt. And the thing is that we can't control for how the parents of the other schools act. We've had several incidents where they refused to follow the direction. Ms. Rodriguez was here by herself. We tried it without security. Okay, we have admin, technically we count, right? And so there was a male spectator, and this happened twice. And luckily, Master Sergeant had come back from a field trip. So, because I was too far to come back and no one was available. Like, so he ran upstairs and he provided additional support. And luckily, because, you know, he's military. And then the second time, then it was Sergeant Henderson who just happened to walk. Because it was like, it just happens because they're coming back from a trip. But I can't risk staff being hurt. I already have 2 security out. I can't afford to have admin hurt. Because some parents don't like. I had the front situation as a perfect example. I was like, they like technically it's supposed to be me, but I mean, like, what can I really do, right? I mean, maybe I could like, please, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I can err on that, but people don't understand. Like, there's no amount of money that's worth risking the life of a student, staff, or them having to witness that type of altercation. So and then the CPD was called in one of those incidents. And the parents like, I don't care. And we're like, yeah, we're really gonna do this. And then finally I got here, but it was too late. But luckily we had Master Sergeant for one event and Sergeant Henderson showed up for the other event. But that just gives you an example of why I have to err on the side of caution. It's not that I don't want families there, but I also have over 50 kids in the field that need protecting.
Yeah, no.
And I know that one is still not enough, but I'm like, if you think about what happened, like I have to like rush. I have one protecting like the 200 that are inside, and that doesn't include credit recovery yet. And then I have the cameras to make sure that the kids are, because I don't have enough security, so I have to like really leverage. The deans are already doing, that's when they do all the paperwork, and they're doing paperwork and helping me still. So that just gives you some insight as to all of the factors that go in. I have the bucket, and we put out the overtime, whoever wants to sign up. And when I see that there's no sign up, I work with culture and climate, like, what's called, like, we have to make a call. No spectators, only student spectators because we're 5. I can't turn on VMS and have 50 people going through VMS because that deploys someone else, because they're very strict now with like entry procedures. So that just gives you some insight into like what she's explaining. But there's no $300 or $500 that's worth the life or risking the safety of staff and students.
Got it.
Any more questions? No? Okay, so we move to the next item, which is a student report. Do you have anything, girls?
I think you guys are doing great. I don't think that you guys should take this all upon yourselves. The staff, you guys are doing really good. I mean, the influence doesn't come from you. You guys are doing your job, and more than your job, you're risking your life to get a punch. Us ourselves as the students, we didn't know ourselves. The incident and anything that was going on, we did see all the fire trucks and all the police who came, but ourselves did not know. But thank you so much for clearing that up, for letting us know. Yeah, I think you guys are good. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give us. One thing I do think we need to work on is coming forward with commitment to the students, because like we said, none of us knew. We were all assuming, and it's something very scary to be, like he said, locked down, to hear those words come through the intercom and be like, oh, like what's going on, and then hearing and seeing, because like we know everybody records, everybody's like pulls out their phone, everybody starts to like say things, text messages and everything. So I think it's very important that you also tell your students, because, well, it is a school to support your students, what's going on, since it could be a very scary moment. A lot of kids could have panic attacks or anything in that moment. And, thank you so much for all that you do. Other than that, yeah, thank you.
Divine sent me something for the student report, okay? Are you finished?
I was gonna say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Just like she said, I'm just restating. I do appreciate everything that all of you have done, risking yourselves. And I think the extra precautions were very necessary. We felt safer, I guess, during the lockdown, even though we didn't know what was happening. It felt better to stay in the classroom and instead of walking out. I think that was a good call. And like she said again, I think it's very important not only to let the students know, but also parents. Specifically, my parents were very concerned about what was happening, and it'll just help clear up the situation. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll read what she sent me. She says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Sadly, I was not able to attend this month's meeting as I have my induction ceremony for the Chicago Scholar Ambassadors. It's a CPS event, which will allow me to bring more resources for students within our school with post-secondary plans. Even though I'm not there, I still want to give a student report if allowed. The first point is many students are continuously concerned about the tardy policy. Many suggest first period shouldn't count since being late to school is very different from being late to class. Many even suggest having the doors open at 7 a.m. or even as early as 6:30. Second, students want more school spirit, and the first step is to allow spectators at all school games. I know as of right now, your reasonings are very relevant and make sense, but every student/parent shouldn't suffer because of an incident. Third point, students are uninvolved within our school, and to solve that, I would recommend a school club fair. This event can happen during 7th for 9th and 10th graders and 8th for 11th and 12th graders in the lunchroom. I recommended this event last year, and since it's still the beginning of the year, I would love to organize one. Involvement in clubs has been proven to show many positive attributes for students. Rather, it is becoming balanced to become a leader. This is all I have to have for this month's student report. Once again, I give my sincerest apologies for missing a meeting once again. Have an amazing rest of the day. Sincerely, Divine Valdez.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. But another point that I want to say is funding. It's very important, like Savannah was saying, because we just came from a cross-country meet, and we learned from our coach, she doesn't work here, only just coach, that she had to put in the money to get it came from her pocket to get the tent. So I think it's very important if we do some more fundraising and approve some more fundraising, because a lot of our sports are actually lacking money, and it's kind of a little a little embarrassing to like see like other schools with like their tents and stuff, and then ours, like we only had like a start at the beginning.
Not only sports, but I think clubs as well. Debate.
No. That's fine, but I'm concerned, how much money we move, for sports this year?
That's what I'm confused, because we bought a tent for cross country with Ms. Rodriguez design, because she's a professional runner, and she designed the cross country tent with the little wings and so that should have been out there. And
Is that out there?
I think that one was for the track one. I don't know. But
yeah, so we bought tents for the school for events. Like, all they have to let us know is that we have the tents and the tables, so they let us know, and then we have one of our staff take the tents instead of tables. So we have plenty of tents for events because of that reason, because of the sun, because it gets too hot, or to like if there's a competition, you want the school logo. So that's already in the building. So it's
They have the specific one, right? The Steinmetz track team.
yeah, there's one
We
that
have the other canopies, but those are not specifically what they're. looking
no, but they can use it for athletics. So we have that available for athletics. Last time we moved the money, I emailed, and I have the email that I emailed exactly like we promised. I emailed Ms. Russo, Master Sergeant, JROTC, and then I forgot, I included Mr. Dowling. Here's the money. Please make sure you order all the necessary supplies for sports. There's a difference between supplies and equipment, and the field was taken care of. That was a separate line. And whatever requisitions the athletic director put forth and Master Sergeant, whatever they said they needed is what I approved.
Right.
And I made sure, like, hey, who needs uniforms? Who needs supplies? Make sure that everything's there, because we had allocated all that money. And so when I hear this, it's concerning, because the money was approved. I'll hit approve on the requisitions. I don't put the requisitions. So the athletic director puts it for all the sports. And Master Sergeant puts it for like GROTC elements that.
Is
like,
that coach like a staff here?
no, so they work with Miss Russo. Miss Russo has to meet with all the coaches. So
So maybe there's that disconnect, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's just circling back to make sure that it did get ordered and it is gonna get lost in transition. But
Yeah.
you guys saw the canopies that we had. Well, you guys saw those all the time.
Mhm.
If it didn't get ordered or anything like that, we can always provide you guys with that one. And so your specific one for your sport
Mhm.
comes in, it shouldn't take that long if it's not already ordered in this building somewhere, because there's sometimes we order stuff and it ends up in the storage and nobody knows.
Yeah, no, I made it very clear that our kids should not, like, if it's good for another school, it's good for our students. Like,
Right.
I've said, whatever they need, I need to know. And I trust that the directors over JROTC and athletics communicate that. They work directly with our budget like our budget clerk to make sure everything, I just go in and hit, okay, make sure that there's a helmet needed. Like, I'm hearing that there's some helmet, like, we got to get on it. Like, we never play around with safety of the students, and also making sure that our students feel like they matter when they're out in those events. Because yeah, you go see these events and then you look like, that's why I know there was an investment in uniforms for basketball. I was like, who doesn't have uniforms?
Right.
Like, if we have the funds, we got to prioritize all of the teams that don't have uniforms. Like, we saw the tents, and it's exactly what happened. I was like, Ms. Rodriguez, get on it. Like, why do we not have a tent? Look at all these fancy schools with tents. And I know she designed it and everything. It's in the storage unit. So I know you guys have a tent. And I said, like, do they have the outfits so that they look like the team? Like, do they have everything that they need? And according to my understanding is that the athletic director is taking care of it. But please note that when it comes to like our students having what they need, it's always been a yes. If not, I work with the LSC. I figure out like, where do we have extra funds available? Like, can we pull from here, if we need to move stuff, or we allocate for that? Because you saw that last year for the LSC, you guys saw that when I presented, I allocated the additional funds for sports, and then I requested for transfers for that specific reason. So
So
again,
you'll follow up with the athletic
Yeah.
department and see what
To fo-
happens. We
yes.
apologize.
Yeah, that's
Was a
fine.
misunderstanding.
We just recently got it, actually. We just had it for this meet. But, I'm just bringing up the, like, subject, like, there's, like, some sports that lack, like, not just sports, but also clubs.
yeah.
They lack more help than others. And,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we continue with the back report. I don't know.
So today was the organizational
Oh,
meeting. We had one parent, so we have to try again. It is one of the two. We had two parents. We have a new bilingual coordinator in CPS. We call them ELTTs. Mr. Morales came from MLA, high school experience, and both elementary. Well versed in everything bilingual. Like, he's running with it. He's like putting everything, like, very experienced. He says this will be his last school. So he's close. Yeah, he's like, he's gonna retire at some point, but he wants this to be his last school. It's nice, but I know him from other when I worked at Disney.
Okay.
He's very strong. So excited. So he tried today. He's gonna try again.
Okay.
The PAC meeting is scheduled. It's in the presentation. I gave
Okay.
you this one. The PAC organization. The PAC is organizational scheduled for 9:20. So we'll attempt as well.
And PAC,
Yeah, PAC is for 9:20.
9:20.
at what time?
We're trying right now 10 a.m. Because we tried last year after school, and then the suggestion was to try in the morning. We're gonna try morning, and then we'll try again, and we'll go back to the after school.
Okay.
and see which one we have more
Okay.
success with.
So next item is PPLC.
So we had the organizational meeting today, and we'll have elections next week. And then we'll set our monthly cadence of meetings, and then we'll set up a monthly meeting with Dr. Vilches as soon as we get that, the election and the meeting set up. That's
Okay, thank you. So we continue with the CIWP.
Yes, so we have 3 priorities. It continues into school year 25, curriculum and instruction. For anyone that's new, CIWP stands for Continuous Improvement Work Plan. CPS uses a lot of acronyms. People know it as a school improvement plan overall across the state, but CPS calls it CIWP. So our school has 3 priorities. Our first priority is curriculum and instruction, inclusive and supportive learning. connectedness and well-being. I'll share the deck. You can read the Steinmetz CIWP. It is a published document, so if you go on the CPS website, every school CIWP must be published. So ours is published. We had our first Network 14 meeting. So what happens for anyone that's new to the LSC, the district is broken up into 17 networks. There's Network 14 is the first of the high school, so 14, 15, 16, 17 are high school networks. So we're part of what they call Network 14. So each network has a chief and a deputy. So those are my boss, on top of Pedro Martinez and Bogdan, the people that you come and see all the time. That's my bosses when they come. Like just to give you guys context for anyone that because I know that we have some new members that didn't sit through the CIWP and don't even know that maybe don't know how the network structure works. So Network 14 comes and so they evaluate your CIWP. So there's the CPS piece of it and there's the LSC. So I report to you all, and then I also report to my deputy and my chief, who also communicate to the higher ups. So I have to, it's like 2 reports. So our first Q1 progress monitor will happen the week of 10/25. That's when we meet. I invite some of the LSC members to sit and we look at the action items and we got to say if it's happening, not happening, why not? Is it postponed? Like, is it not going to happen this year? So that's what we call progress monitoring. And we can always make updates to the action steps, but not the priorities. That would be had to be brought back to the LSC if we wanted to go down to 2. Connecting it. So curriculum instruction is everything that the teachers teach. Just to give you some context, is how they teach, your books, everything that happens really much in the classroom when it comes to academics and like Calm Classroom, that's considered curriculum. Inclusive and supportive learning is like when we start doing like tier 1 interventions, lightning days, any type of, you see Start 360, some of the classrooms do Start 360. You start seeing us doing tutoring, pulling out students for help. You see Miss Galeri, that's a big part of her work. So if you know Miss Galeri, she oversees MTSS, and she works with Ms. Chaparro and Ms. Monticelli, and they work with students that need that extra touch in reading and math. So they push into classrooms. So you'll see them that. That's so culture and climate has some piece in that because of the Calm Classroom piece. And then connecting as well-being is everything that happens with culture and climate. Cell phones, parties, events, parent engagement, anything that has to do with social emotional learning for adults and students, student to students in the building. And that's a lot of the work that Mr. De Jesus leads in partnership with Ms. Galeri and the council and post-secondary, so all of that. Just to give I just want to give an overview. So that's what a CIWP, and those are kind of just a synopsis of those 3 priorities. So what happens is at the beginning of the school year, deputy comes in, she comes with the team, they sit down and they go through everything that's in the CIWP, and I have to speak to everything that we're doing, how it's getting started, and then they talk about how the ISL, so ISLs are considered instructional support leaders. So because we're considered, just like it with MTSS, we get tiered as well. So I get wraparound support to assignments. So that means I get the English ISL, the math ISL, the science ISL, the social science ISL, and the MTSS. So they attend meetings. They have to attend every IoT meeting. They come to department meetings and they make sure that everything's happening accordingly. They report back to make sure Dr. B is doing what she needs to do as the principal of the school to move the school forward and what needs to happen, right? And if not, that's a different conversation that happens with me and the deputy and my bi-weekly check-ins to give you like how that works. So they came and they go through the whole CIWP. I have to speak to like weekly all the PD that I've done up to this point. What does the professional learning plan look like? What am I doing with the APs to support the teachers? How am I working with the IoT? I got to show their scoop and sequence, the rigor walks. And then after we're done with that meeting and they put all their notes, then we walk. So then they call it the landscape walk. So the landscape walk is the deputy and myself, and we visit 9 classrooms. And out of those 9 classrooms, we evaluate 2 indicators on what they call this rigor walk tool. There's 16 indicators, but the landscape walk, they look at 1 and 4. She did compliment that the 9 out of the 9 classrooms we visited had doors locked. She's like, is that an initiative? I was like, yeah, it's an initiative. She's like, well, whoever's initiative is where they're doing what they need to do. So they look for the learning target and is it grade level? Is what happened in grade level? And is it based on the standard that they should be doing? So it's either yes, no, and it's very clear cut. Yes, no. There are no no's, nothing. It's like either yes, no. Yes, no, partial. And so that's the work that the ILT does. So we finished the landscape walk. They prepared the report. I share with the LSC as part of my evaluation. They use it part of my evaluation on that side. And then it'll happen again at MOI, but then they bring the full team and the ILT members attend and they look at all 16 indicators. And then it'll happen again at EOI, and then we get a report to see if we're moving on these indicators district-wide. And this is for every school. So every school will say landscape walk, my boss came in. Yeah. So this is a district initiative. So that just gives you a big picture of just my first 3 weeks.
Thank you.
So yes, we're working and we're doing what we need to. And if not only do you guys hold me accountable, then every 2 weeks I have my deputy that will come and say, Dr. Doches, let's sit down and talk.
We have more people.
Yeah.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is your report.
Perfect.
So the
Okay.
floor is yours.
For everyone that's new and returning, I always do the principal report aligned to the competencies. So when the principal evaluation time comes, you can see the evidence for each of the domains. So we'll start with some updates. Our current enrollment is 1064. We are down.
How much? Yeah.
The 20th, the number that they used to determine the budget was 1154, so it'd be 1064. So I'll do the math.
90.
So it was 1154, the projected?
The 1154 is the budget that we're working with, and 1064 is where we're at.
That'd be 90.
So that'd be 90 times $8,000, which will be the deficit.
90 times what?
90 times 8,000, right?
So this 1064 minus 1154, yeah, 89 times 8,000.
89 times what?
8,000, give or take, yeah. Because remember how they did the student-based budgeting? So each student has a baseline, and based on the index, the poverty index level, Title I, they give an extra. So our students are per capita, student-based budgeting, approximately 8,000 per student here.
So we're down about 712,000, right?
For next year, yes.
So they'll be down.
But remember, we don't, when it comes to teacher positions, that'll be determined by the district. So that would be factored into this. For teaching positions, they'll determine if we need to scale back, and they'll determine that piece. The operating budget will also be impacted by that as well.
So then your goal will be that we try to get that at least 90 kids in to keep us. And, yeah, okay.
We're trying.
We're all trying.
So we lose that money this year, right? Or
No, they're not
next
gonna,
year?
no, it'll be next year.
Oh,
You
okay,
use it
good.
next year.
They used to do the 20-day pullback, and that's when, you would see impact letters go out in the 20th day, but I don't think they're gonna do it. To my knowledge, they're not. It'll be next year.
And that deficit, staffing wise, is what would you say? It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say because DL classrooms is a different number, EL classrooms is a different number, and general ed based on the new contract will be different numbers.
So we could lose teachers this year, or
No,
it would be
everything
next year?
Everything
Oh,
will be
okay,
next year. If we don't hit the enrollment, then yes, we'll be impacted next year.
okay.
And our operating budget will go down. So
Right.
we try to make sure we take care of what needs to as much as possible this year. But we're still actively, we attend, the team has been attending every event possible, being a face, but the thing is that Go CPS is open till October. So that means that we can continue to lose students to other schools all the way for, it's October. The Go CPS is October. Yeah. So if they don't meet their numbers, they can continue to send acceptance letters to students that are in Steinmetz right now. So their first choice can still open up if that school doesn't hit their enrollment number.
Is there any speculation why it's down 90 or what might be causing that? Or
Speculation. I think that's our reputation that is making.
Oh yeah, so Chicago
Things
Academy
going
became a
down.
CPS school.
Oh, they did. They're not a charter school anymore?
They're not AUSL anymore. CPS, so Chicago Academy has now become part of CPS and they're part of our network.
Great to hear that. I'm so happy.
That happened last year, so now they're full-fledged CPS.
And they have
That's gonna
their
kill us.
about it.
well, that's a
That's
big,
gonna kill us. The internal stuff we're doing to ourselves is killing us.
And
All
remember,
that is
Sure's
killing
boundaries
us.
go up to here too. So
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty
yeah,
close.
Sure's
And
close
then
to my
that-
house, and even though I live 5 minutes away here.
Did they just extend that or has that always been?
No, it's always been like that. And then Tech has what they call a special boundary. So they're allowed to take from our boundary because they have a special boundary.
But they also very creative of their recruitment. So they're bringing in kids through
Yeah,
their
they are.
athletic, they're bringing kids through their ROTC,
It's like, Chicago
they're
Academy.
being very creative. But again, they're a tight community. They
Yeah,
went
they
through
don't
their
talk about
crisis and they unified and they're moving forward. So until we don't get to that point, we won't get there. So intervention.
So that's where we're at with enrollment. We will continue to move forward and do our best to continue to recruit, be a positive staple in the community. That's where we continue to show our families, our little ones, that we care, that we are very active, that we have good stuff happening here. And I always tell that to the parents, you see one thing, but that's just one piece of it. Like, if I didn't feel that this school wasn't safe, do you think I would put my sister's daughter comes here?
The school is safe.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, my daughter's here all the time, so with me all the time. Vacancies, we're still have 4 vacancies: Spanish bilingual science, a DL teacher, a world language teacher for Spanish, and a Spanish bilingual music teacher. We would like to welcome our new assistant principal, Dr. Gibson.
Welcome,
And
welcome.
tomorrow, and the former LSC approved the whole school safety and allocated for, the first one was the whole school safety admin. But remember, this is the SRO money, this is not 115, this is not, this money will be here regardless of what happens on this side, right? That's the whole school SRO money. So we allocated it for an admin that would be over whole school safety, MTSS, working with culture and climate security. She starts tomorrow.
So you're gonna have an admin just for safety and security?
Yeah, they're gonna be, that's how it was approved by the LSC and the whole school safety team.
That makes up for the SRO.
And that'll help the events that we have.
That was made very clear to the individual. Her name is Miss Luth.
Okay.
She comes with an extensive background of working with culture and climate as a dean administrator. She's also coming from out of state too, so she moved to Chicago, but she has family in Chicago. So she starts tomorrow. She just got cleared today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Domain 1, organizational leadership. I'll just go through it quickly. We met as an IoT on Wednesday, and when I share the deck, you'll be able to see the agenda. You'll be able to see our IoT has to rate we have to rate ourselves 3 times. Every IoT does in CPS. And you can see our effective indicators in terms of our areas of growth, and we're always constantly working on those growth. I'm very proud of our IoT. We do a lot of great work. One of the strongest teams in the building, and they really are focused on students and the student experience. Our CIWP, our professional learning plan, it's a district template. So when you open it up, when I share the links, it's a very, no, I didn't create it. It's filled out, but we did not create the template. We have IoT, CIWP, BHT, MTSS, Culture and Climate Team, and Success Teams. We're gonna reassess because we thought it was gonna be like, yeah, we have to meet again to make sure that we're a strong, we have coherence from the different times because everyone's spread out. You can see some pictures there from week 0. We had the deputy mayor visit us from the city of Chicago. She came with the new chief of FACE. So they visited classrooms, they met with students, they learned about the student experience. You were here, let's see, you were in here.
We were here.
Yeah, they were able to, they got to say whatever they needed to say to the deputy mayor. She said she would take it back. And they visited classrooms, and you
How'd
have
she
some,
follow up?
and parent youth, they visited parent youth too.
That's how we have to order them.
Oh, yeah, our students do not, Ms. Valentine, our students do not.
They're not
I'll be
shy.
like, okay, what are they gonna say? I'll be like this, I'm just gonna take notes, and they're gonna say what they need to say, because they have the people in front of there, and they talked about the greenhouse, and we're still trying to get the heater paid for through like donations and stuff from the greenhouse. Domain 2, instructional core, and that's all about like the relationship between teacher, student, and content, with a focus on relationships and identity. So we attended the SES Summer Institute. That was 4 days. The mayor attended, so he was there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. And it was one day was parent led, one day was student led, and one day was admin led.
Okay.
And yeah, it was 3. Was it 3 or 4 days? I don't remember. 4 days. And then the overall. It was a great experience. We had to come up with action plans. For anyone that's new, we're a sustainable community schools. We're one of 20, and they are going to be expanding to 45 more schools as part of the new contract. So they're using like the 20 as anchors for the new schools that they're going to approve to be SES schools. So it just means more meetings to learn about like what we do in the different SES schools. But it was a great experience. We got a lot accomplished, and then we're gonna make sure that everything we committed to is happening, and we did for week 0. Jesse did we did everything that we said in our action plan, which was nice. And then you have pictures there. You can see us working together at the SES. I attached our cycles of learning. We have 2 cycles of learning: agency, ownership, and identity. So we're really focusing on classroom community and student voice when it comes to curriculum, based on like what we learned from SES. And then
Dr. V, you gotta get better at this being a little bigger.
No, it's because I have it ready to go. It's just I didn't set it.
Come on, Dr. V, like.
I said
You
that.
need glasses. Like,
Oh,
you want
wait.
me to read it, or you don't want me to read it?
No, I actually printed out 3 big ones for anyone that can't see it. Look, I differentiated.
That's
Wow.
we need. I'm like, I can't keep putting it further.
It was that I was gonna plug in, but we had to set up, so I didn't have time to set up the presentation here. You can see our cycle. Our cycle 2 is about access to content, making sure that we're providing acceleration. So what we saw in our data, our students are still coming in far below, and our freshmen coming off track. And we have a hypothesis. It's the last of the middle school students from the COVID, because the K-5 received the most supports when they came back to K-4. They received all the wraparound supports when we came back from the pandemic, and middle school was, they were left to. So this is the last. So we have a lot of students that are off track and coming in with low attendance. However, our culture and climate team and our attendance team and our counseling team put together, and I do have to credit Lefty for this, Mr. De Jesus, for this idea. So we looked at the data, and so what we did at open house, he said, put a heart. If they have a heart, that means they need to see a counselor. If they have a star, they have to see an attendant. And so get to say, and then we talked about their grades. Hey, like we have tutoring, so we signed up some kids for tutoring right there, or at least give the parent the home. And so the kids were like, how do you know? He's like, you know everything. But at least they felt seen, and the parents were like, I dropped you off. And the kids are like, but if they're cutting middle school, it says that high school is going to be much more easier. So I think that little touch point has made a difference, because they're thinking twice, because like, how do you know that? How do you know this? Like, how do you know what I'm coming? How do you know my Star 360 score? So they already, at freshman orientation, they had a heart and a star. That meant something. We coded kids like with, they had that touch point, and then the counselors, for the students that didn't come, the counselors and the attendance coordinator followed up with all the parents that didn't come. So they felt seen. And they know that we know what we know.
Right.
So that was a good touch point. So we were able to and that's an early intervention, and we have to do more circling back.
Violence prevention.
Culture and climate. The focus for culture and climate is continue to build community through strengthening relationships. We only still see a decline in ISS OSS numbers. However, our next behavior data report is not going to reflect that, as because of this incident, we followed the student code of conduct. We want to see an increase in whole school attendance, complete the street staff lounge and volunteer opportunities. I've included the new cell phone policy. I've sent it to everyone in the community and the students and the parents. We asked for feedback. And based on the feedback, we have made some adjustments to that. So you have it there. And when I share the deck, it will leak the whole thing that you have. And then the cell phone holders arrived, so we were able to pass that out. Tardy policies leave there. I am very proud of the security team. On top of keeping the building safe, but now they're taking that ownership in terms of like students, if they're in the hallways. Culture and climate team helps with the first 10 minutes. And then they have to take care of other stuff, right? And then we transfer ownership of the hallways to the security guards. And so they process students for hall ordering. So we're having that data. So the next follow-up is like, what do we do with that data? And making sure that we're following what's next. This incident did kind of set us back a little bit in time. But now that we've completed everything we needed to with that incident, we'll be able to move forward. Talents, we attend Network 14 meetings. We have a CPS new teacher mentor program that'll be led by Ms. J. Steinmetz Connection in Action will continue where we focus on adult SEL. So it's like showing love to the staff. We have weekly meetings with our CEO and CETO. Teacher trainings that are coming up, Skyline Summits, IB trainings, team, they call it IOP, but it's implementation on place. IoT meetings happen weekly. The STEAM and IB PLCs, that's new and that's required by CPS for our STEAM coordinator and our IB coordinators to go to so that they can focus on coaching. I have bi-weekly meetings with Network 14 deputy. And on top of the evaluation, I still have to do a BOY principal evaluation with my deputy, and then I do the AP evaluation. Then we have, I listed all of our new staff members and anyone that changed roles, so it's Meet the Six. That concludes my principal's report.
Thank you.
I mean, the previous LSCs already used.
So we're gonna go past time.
Thank you.
No, I speak really fast. I speak really fast.
So we have a lot of new staff, right?
We have, yes. Now we have a lot of new bilingual staff.
And we have an Ukrainian person.
We have
Arabic. You mentioned it, but that's great.
And I just put some staff that came in mid-year because they never got that formal introduction, which was not fair to them. And then I forgot to say their names again.
Okay.
So I want to make sure they got acknowledged.
Go ahead.
We are kind of running a little behind.
Yes.
And we still have a presentation here, fundraising, we have.
I see it already.
Are you gonna do all your motions now?
And of course.
Yeah, I can do my motion
That's-
fast.
Yeah, let her do her
Yeah, because
motions.
according to
No, that is next.
6:50, we should be presenting the best.
Yeah, I can read.
Yes, this is.
So now I go into the transfers, motion, I make a motion to transfer a total of 15,200 from line 462911245791 to 56106 00038 to various budget transfer lines listed on document number 924-2024-00 to support and enhance learning for events, instruction, building, operations, and supplies. So that's the cell phone tower to allocate for a substitute bucket, sub bucket, attendance achievement awards for student staff, supplies for events, supplies and repairs improvement. We have to pay for our own repairs. 60 boxes of copy paper, EL, to purchase books for EL students. We have to pay for the SCL students for any field trips, and SCL senior supplies.
Oh, we're done.
Is that the motion?
Yeah, she made the motion. No, you didn't make the motion, but
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Kila second, okay? Open for discussion?
Can I ask one question? Is the money for the attendance, will that be for the whole year? For the achievement awards? So
Yeah.
that's what we'll spend in a year?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? No, call discussion, roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Camila Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Litsi Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Mr. De Jesus.
Yes.
So 10 yes, 0 no. Am I asking students
Fast, thank
to
you.
vote on?
No,
I
it's
forget.
transfers, personnel. were they?
Huh?
None of those
No.
transfer, okay. I just
No,
wanna
they're
make
not.
No
sure.
personnel, just supplies.
Right, okay.
No, none of this is personnel.
I just want to
No,
make
it's
sure
just-
so the student.
Right.
Right, I was just asking the same thing. I ran down the list and
You
I
ran
think,
down the list, I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
yeah, so thank you for,
Yeah, no.
Second motion, I present a motion to transfer total 22,500 from EL software line 46291-115-53307 1190150000575 to various budget transfer line listed on document number 9/2024-002 to support and enhance learning for bilingual. So we're moving from a software line to a book line for EL students. So it's
Okay.
still for ELs, but he's gonna purchase books instead, and ELPD.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. De Jesus. Open for discussion. Close discussion, call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Camila Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Litsi Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll say yes. Mr. De Jesus?
Yes.
10 yes, 0 no.
I make a motion to transfer a total of $560.16 from EL software line 46291-115-53307 1190117 0000575 to 46291-115-53305 1190115 0000575, transferring from software to purchase books for EL students. So it's
Did
gonna
we,
be,
did
So
we
did
skip
you
one?
miss this one?
oh man. I skipped one. Yes, but I already
Yes.
put the motion on the table.
Yeah. We gotta go back to that one.
Okay. So we can go back.
I second the motion.
'Cause she
Thank
has
you.
an open motion.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is for
This is for this one right here.
Number
4.
4.
Mm-hmm. Very tired. So open for discussion?
Why are we switching from software to books?
Because you can't purchase books with a software line. And we were intending to buy software, but he found books. So they need books in the ESL sections.
That's a good
Any
question.
more questions?
That's a good,
No? Close discussion?
that's a good question.
Roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
just for that question, I'll upgrade you to Ms. Garcia Rodriguez.
I'm sorry?
Voting yes?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Mr. De Jesus?
Sorry, now I'm going to number
We're
3.
going back to the number.
Motion to transfer a total of $9,922.98 from the furniture line 46291-115-55010 to 51392-0000575 to 46291-115-55005 to 51392-0000575 for transfer from repair furniture to repair equipment due to coding. So they coded equipment, not furniture. Like I have to, you change the line.
Anyone second the motion?
I second it.
Open for discussion?
Can you just explain that a little more?
Yeah, so the furniture is not coded furniture. So we allocated this money for furniture, but the furniture is actually coded as equipment. So you can't buy furniture until we recode it again at the LSC. So it's a recoding.
Okay.
Any more
So
questions?
the desk is not furniture, it's considered equipment.
Any more questions? No? Close discussion? Roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Ms. Valentine?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Marin?
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Girola? Mr. Keelis? Ms. Dunn?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Mr. De Jesus? 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. So we'll continue with
Number
motion 5.
Motion to I make a motion to transfer a total of $221.40 from miscellaneous line 46291-124-57915, 256-106-000-320, 246-291-124-53405, 211-210-000-320 for STLS senior supplies.
I second.
Open for discussion. Close discussion, roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin, Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I vote yes, Mr. DeJesus.
Your vote, motion carries.
C, I make a motion to approve the internal accounts as presented and sent.
Mhm.
I second it.
Motion is done. Open for discussion. Close discussion, roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis, Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll vote yes, Mr. DeJesus.
Yes.
And yes, 0 no.
Motion pass.
And then we have fundraising. We have guest speaker, Master Sergeant Davis, and students. I make a motion to approve fundraiser, lunch and munch snack to support the class of 2025 and the Steinmetz JROTC program. And then I put them as guest speakers if anyone needs to ask questions or if they would like to share.
I second.
Open for discussion. For discussion. Roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll vote yes, Mr. DeJesus.
Yes.
10 yes.
And those motion pass. Next item, fundraising guest speaker coach Anna and a student.
Yes. I make a motion to approve the fundraiser, student managed basketball game and raffle ticket sale.
I second.
Open for discussion.
I have a question. How are they gonna sell the raffle tickets? Is it gonna be like the online ticketing type thing where you go to a website and you click on it and then you buy it? Or is it gonna be money collected?
It'll be money collected, my understanding, but
For the
they'll be,
basketball one?
yeah.
The same process as before. They'll probably pay in the main office, because they'll keep a running list of students that have paid, whether it's $2 or $3 or something like that.
We create the account, we collect everything in the.
But I mean, for the raffle, for the game, I know we usually do it like that, but for the raffle, do the kids have
I'm
to
not
collect
sure.
all the
I
money?
don't want to say that maybe you buying a game ticket enters you right into a raffle, but I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay,
I know that all money will be handled in the main office,
okay.
and they'll follow the same procedures. And I know Master Sergeant, is here to speak for Mr. Coach Hannah because he couldn't be here. If you guys have any questions.
Okay.
Sergeant, you
Can
know
you
that?
answer that question?
Yes, he's gonna use the pay list, he's gonna get from the main office, so you get the pay list, and he has to put every student name to buy raffle tickets, and he collects the money, so he's gonna sell the raffle tickets at the game, get the pay list, collect the money, and turn that list in, where you collect the money with the student name on it to the main office, all at once.
That sounds so complicated.
You have to do a pay list, that's the only way you can do it, you have to do the same thing, we do the fundraising in the lunchroom, you have to turn the pay list, you cannot do it any other way.
Got a match.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? No? Close discussion, roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Girola, Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll vote yes, Mr. DeJesus.
Yes.
And yes or no.
Motion passed. Next item, principal's evaluation. And there's a time for the guest speaker from LSC Relations, and I ask them is Ms. Jackson.
Hi, everybody. I'm just here to provide a supportive reading. I'm glad to see you all for another school year. Familiar faces, faces. Just so you know, I'm here to support the LSC, whatever questions that you may have. If you all, I'll share you all have my contact, share with any member that, needs any support and any questions that you all may have, you are always welcome to contact me.
I think, Veronica, one thing that we wanted your help and guidance was in our organizational meeting. I think the previous council have been trying to work on local school council bylaws. And this new council made a commitment to make sure that we work on those bylaws. So I know, looking at the time, right, 7:10, we want to make that one of the biggest priorities, right, for the structure of the council. Could we call a special meeting just to work on local school council bylaws, if that's what we wanted to do as a council? Or what is the best way to work on that?
You can, what historically, special call meetings, do you all have quorum at those meetings, or do you want to, I mean, we provided you all with a bylaw that was, recommended, and that was approved by law. There was a bylaw, I think previously in place. You all tabled it to find those bylaws. Did you all find those bylaws?
Yes, yes, we did.
Okay, so what I would recommend to do is send those bylaws to, Director Ford, so she can look up those bylaws and make sure they are approved before you all approve them. So it would be to, make sure one step has already been done before you vote to approve them. Because if you vote to approve them and the law department does not approve the bylaws, you have to essentially go back and add. Make sense? Okay, so, the bylaws that, Mr. Keelis, you all can send those to Director Ford, she will look over, send them to the law department, they will give the insight, then you all could, they will give you the go ahead or make recommendations, and then you all can go ahead and approve them, because every LSC or board, governing board needs bylaws.
So do you
Rules
guys,
on how they
you guys
operate.
had approved bylaws already?
No,
The
they didn't.
The bylaws that, were approved by, under your, being the LSC chair, before you left, those are the bylaws that were sent into, Willie, the Orca before this board came in. So those are the ones that have to be resubmitted, so they could check on it and make sure that they have it as record.
Right, because when we, she was under the impression that there were work bylaws.
Right.
So initially, you all can readopt those bylaws.
Got it.
And we recommend that you readopt them every year at the organizational meeting.
Or because you have a new council, you look at the bylaws that were there
And
and
you
adjust as
readopt the
needed.
ones from the previous council, or you add or take away.
Got
Either
it.
way, it has to go to the law department.
So we
I
need
would
to send it to
recommend-
law.
So you,
Otherwise-
I
so what she's
recommend
saying,
just-
we gotta send to law what's already in existence, see what law feedback is, but if this council's not comfortable with those bylaws, is what's, and it's what I get from Mr. Caputi, right? That I don't know that you're in agreement with those bylaws. Is that what the issue is with the bylaws? I'm
No.
talking to you.
No, I didn't say,
Oh, no.
I didn't say-
What's your concern with the bylaws?
I didn't have one.
You brought one last time. at the last
No, I
meeting.
believe Ms. Dunn, I agreed with her. I believe Ms. Dunn brought up the idea of having meetings
On Google
broadcast
Meet.
on Google Meets,
So that we can
And
have
I-
more attendance.
provided some thoughts about that. But that was.
So is that already in the bylaws?
No, no.
Well, what happened was that when the change of council came, there was, some other, amendment to that bylaw that was submitted to the law department, and the law department never sent back an answer on if they were going to be accepted or not.
So the
So-
one pager, Director Ford
Yeah.
attended the meeting, and she said that will not be
Right,
approved.
right.
The one that you all created, I think it was a one pager.
Yeah, one page.
She said that's not gonna fly. She typed out and provided a model bylaw.
Yes.
And that is already
Right,
approved by law
And that's
department.
already approved by the law department. But she gave you all the opportunity to find the bylaws because you already had a bylaw in place. So now that bylaw needs to be emailed to her.
Okay.
So, I mean, you all could choose to table it to the next meeting.
But right now, they send that, whatever's in record, we send it now.
Right, so.
And then in the
essentially,
next
you
meeting,
all-
we're gonna sit and
You all
review
are
those
governed
bylaws.
by the current
That
bylaw.
current bylaw.
You have a bylaw. So
Okay.
you all have that bylaw. You all discuss that bylaw to see if you're gonna re-adopt the bylaw or you're going to amend the bylaw.
That's what wasn't approved, the amendment.
The amendment
Right.
wasn't
Right.
approved.
Right.
The
So
amendment
ones
was
that
tried to
Mr. Keelis
the,
had
wasn't
were
approved.
the previously approved bylaw, which is what governs your LLC.
You have those bylaws?
Yeah,
Yeah, they were the,
So you have to send those bylaws to LSC Relations, but could you send it to the entire council for review too?
yeah,
Because I mean,
We have
like,
them.
it's the same, so,
In past, last meeting, we have them in the last meeting, she gave us both.
yeah.
okay,
So there's one that's a one pager that's still in effect from the previous administration. Those were under the previous LSC relations. And it was we found out it was the previous law department because there was a lot of, there was
There's
a
a lot of
change.
moving pieces.
So
and
the
changes.
previous law department approved the previous minutes where it was, Master Sergeant, Jaime. So
Okay.
those are still the ones that are in effect. We tried making an amendment with the one pager and they said that
They no.
this one wouldn't
Right,
work
they
under
said
the
no.
new law department and the
Got
new,
it.
And they
with
said
all
no.
of the new directors. They said no.
But what I hear from the council table is we want to look at them because we do want to make amendments.
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, so we send them first to Ford to say these are good, then we could take those back, bring them here, and as a council, then make amendments, correct? Okay, that's what we'll do. Are we
Yeah,
good with
cool
that?
with that.
Like, let them
Yeah,
give us
that's
the
already,
okay, and then we work with the
absolutely.
material that we got, which
This is
is,
the
I
one
guess,
they said
this.
no.
Which is this.
That's the one they said no with the amendment.
Exactly.
Okay, so this, put it away, put that away.
The other one,
That's not
the
good.
other one that they recommended by the law department is the one that's like I think it's 8 pages.
8 pages.
This one.
Okay, so you're gonna send us, just, again, send us all, you're gonna send it to Ford. We're gonna come back in the next meeting and we're gonna make the amendments necessary. Is that the correct way to do it?
I have a question. Okay. Without this amendment, these were like kind of the bylaws that we used to have. If we had an LLC member that already missed 3 consecutives or 5 meetings in a 12-month period, but continue attending the meetings and voting, those votes are still, how to say, are still acceptable or no?
Okay, let's go back. So you said. a
But this is
member-
no good, so why are we even
No,
looking
no,
at
no,
that?
but I'm just, I mean, this portion, it was okay.
Oh, that one.
That a member of that,
Right. The past LLC, we had a member that already meets 5 meetings in a 12-month period or 3 in consecutive meetings. They were already like technically out of the council.
We gotta vote them
you
out of the
have to
council.
follow the protocol.
Yeah.
And essentially you have to send them a notice
Letter.
by hand or certified
Mhm.
that you will be removing them. You state which meeting that they will be removed. It has to be on the agenda. Then you give them the option to have,
Okay.
explain why are they,
It's
they're
been
absent.
missing
And then when the
meetings.
LSC takes the vote, they can initially vote on that particular.
Okay.
So if they don't come, then you automatically just put the motion up for removal, but you have to give them the opportunity to
To
explain
respond.
and respond. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully we won't have that problem.
I had it already.
So yeah, remember there is the regular meeting,
Person missed 3.
Huh?
Oh,
3
that's okay.
consecutive regular meetings.
Right, right.
Or 5 regular meetings within a
Right.
year. Special and emergency meetings do not count.
Right. Special meeting doesn't count. Okay,
And it's
so,
within 12 years, not 12 months, not the school calendar. So it doesn't
12
start
months.
over
yeah,
every school year. It's 5 regular meetings within a 12-month period.
Within the school year.
12-month period, you don't count school
Oh,
year.
that's right, because we do go, okay, got it.
Yes.
mhm.
Okay.
Could we go back to principal evaluation just so we're clear on that, if we're done
We
with the
haven't get
bylaws?
there yet. I mean,
Oh, it was first.
yeah, they jumped to the,
Since
To
we're
the-
still
to
talking
the
bylaws,
bylaws.
so do we do
We
a
go-
special
we will
meeting
go
for
back.
bylaws?
I'm okay with it.
Just
After it
knowing-
gets reviewed, or
Do we do a special meeting just to talk bylaws?
Yeah.
Out of the regular meeting after they're evaluated, or we do it in the same regular meeting? My opinions on.
I think there should be a special meeting because since it was brought up some amendments to the other bylaw, we have to first send that one in,
Yeah,
and then we discuss what is it that we want to put
The
into the amendment.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
either
and
way.
that-
That's a
and that-
special meeting.
And that takes a while if we come into discussions and stuff like that, so.
so do we wanna let Dr. V send it, get the feedback back,
I
then
think
we
that's a great idea.
regroup, and then we decide on a special meeting there? So like that, we have that discussion and we keep our commitment from our organizational meeting. Okay? Principal evaluation.
okay, principal evaluation. I'm going back to you.
Okay.
Because, I mean, according to the agenda, you are going to speak about it.
Oh, according to the agenda, I wish someone let me know. I would prepare myself. All right.
No,
so-
and it
What-
it
what
is here, I'm
we doing?
respecting. the-
I'm sure is she due for a principal evaluation?
Every year, that's part of
Okay.
the contract.
Okay.
So we didn't do it last year by May
You
whenever
didn't
the,
do the professional practice.
Right.
Remember,
Right.
evaluation is a two-part.
We did
Right.
the evaluation, but we didn't do the second part. Right?
Okay, so in May, you did professional practice.
Mhm.
wait, what's professional
No,
practice?
We didn't do the professional.
Okay, so there's a professional
Right.
practice portion,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
there's a
the
final summative portion based on the data, which happens in the fall. Okay, so the professional practice, by the timeline is due by May 1st, which you all need to do. So you come back after you do the professional practice, because it's an average of the data
Mhm.
and the professional practice. So essentially, right now, at this moment, you have October and November to provide the final summative, which is the final evaluation, which is due by November 30th.
November
So the
30.
the part that we have to do yet, not the data, is the ranking that we do, right?
The
That
prof- the
document,
professional
yeah,
performance.
okay.
That's based on that form. And with the, and they don't have, what do they have, categories now? They changed the form.
Yeah, they changed the form.
Yes.
Who could send us the form?
I continue the
Could you
form.
send it?
Please.
Yes, I will do that tonight because.
It's her birthday tomorrow.
And then that's in a
So
closed
no
session,
questions
right?
tomorrow,
Huh?
please.
That's a closed
That's
session,
a closed session.
Yeah.
no
Remember,
students.
students do not
No.
count for form.
Right.
Okay, they can give you, hold on, you can give input. And essentially, they can vote you all in to give input, but you do not count for the quorum for evaluation,
Uh-huh.
and you do not vote to approve the evaluation, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I'm sure you all have some input and some
Absolutely.
feedback that is valuable to the process.
Absolutely.
So, I'm sorry, can I ask one more question? So when we get quorum for that meeting, it's gotta be everyone except for the principal and the,
And the
Dr.
students.
Lee
okay,
That's
and the
correct.
students.
and the quorum would be 8,
Yes, so you all have work to do.
right?
Mhm. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We would need one more, whoever that is.
So with that,
See?
you can't move forward. To, I mean, you all can do the work, like gather the evidence, essentially go through the work of the evaluation. But when you come together, you can't discuss it or vote on it because that is a closed session
Yeah,
activity.
and right, the reality is you gotta recruit 3 parents. And it's
Mhm.
like the parents gotta become
Are
familiar,
aware.
right? Like, so we have a lot of work to do.
We reach out.
Okay.
Copyright.
Yeah, you can bring my
Which one,
photo
portion?
from 3 years
No,
ago.
Oh, you don't remember
I
that, huh?
remember.
Oh, here.
What you need?
Luckily, they
No,
got
no,
one.
I was gonna
Oh,
ask.
good. Okay.
since-
Is she here?
since,
She's
we
here.
go-
Online.
The committee
She
goes
did, she's in
into
the back.
closed session to discuss the evaluation of the principal.
Then throw
And
her in on
comes
that.
back
What do you
out
want me to
and
do? I
makes
don't
the
know.
recommendation
Took a while,
that
more than a year.
whatever is made.
I think she should.
If we have the votes
I mean,
on the table,
Could
could we still move forward?
So you will need the vote to go into closed session,
Right.
and so let's say you have this special call meeting. You call this meeting, this group is here
Mhm.
to take care of any business until you get to evaluation. You lose the quorum for that
mhm.
because then you don't have the quorum to vote to go into closed session. Because 3 members do not count for that vote.
Mhm.
And then 3 members do not count for the quorum. So you lose the quorum necessary to even proceed.
But could the students vote to go into closed session,
They cannot.
not to go?
Nope,
Mm-mm.
they cannot do that for.
But that's a regular meeting.
So if it's a regular meeting, they vote for quorum on everything
But,
but
yes,
evaluation matters.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Right.
So,
So,
an so there's a parent that's been online,
Oh.
that submitted her application and everything.
And that's the next item
okay,
in
that's
the
the next
agenda.
item.
Okay, so
But
we,
did you guys understand what
Yeah.
what it was?
I mean, yeah.
We got a lot of work
Because
to do.
if we're, like, right now, we have them
to the
to make
students or
the
to the
8,
students.
Yeah, but they
To
But
don't.
go
they
in
don't
closed
count,
session.
exactly,
count.
they don't count
But they
to go
don't
through the
count
process of the principal's
after we
evaluation.
come back.
No, they don't count before you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have till November 30th to complete this.
Yes.
Right, that's the day we have to think about, and we have a
Right.
lot of work to do
Okay.
before then.
Okay.
We
Right,
don't,
we
we don't
need
have
another
quorum.
special
We
meeting
got it.
for
There's no
principal
quorum.
evaluation.
Next.
Okay, so next item in the agenda, so it's a motion and selection of a new LSC member, and we have one person online.
Does she present herself?
No, that's why you kept the standing, yeah. You can make it in today.
But could she present,
Oh,
could
yeah,
she
she-
have a
oh, she-
speaker
yeah,
that
she
she can
has a
present
speaker.
herself?
Cecilia, can you hear us? Cecilia? Is my microphone not
I
working?
think she's talking, but you can't
Oh, yeah, you
hear.
can't hear it. Give me one. Oh, let me see.
What's her volume?
Hear you guys, so I just took it off so you guys can hear me.
Now we
Oh,
can
my
hear
goodness.
you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So welcome to Steinmetz LSC Meeting. So you are been waiting for a very long time, and we see you have your application submitted and all the paperwork. We are
Could she present herself?
thank you for that. I was wondering if you can speak to the entire LLC, present yourself, introduce yourself, and telling us something about you.
My name is Cecilia Guadalupe. I currently have a 9th grader, just started. I have another child, an older child that graduated from there, and I love all of the teachers there. Love the school, and look forward to joining and helping the school grow. I plan on volunteering quite a bit, so.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
So you made a motion?
I would like to make a motion to do a selection of a new LLC member, a parent rep.
Must be seconded.
So do you guys answer my questions? I don't know.
No, I don't have no questions. I mean, we got.
So Cecilia, you will be able to attend the local school council meetings in person. Will you be able to attend the meetings?
No, yeah, I'd rather be in person. Just when I got the email, I thought it was through, Google Meet. So I'd rather be in person.
Yeah, we do rather that, at least for my vote, right? I'll give you my vote if you make a commitment to be here in person, because we do need the support. And business is done better in this council when we're face to face and with each other, creating a school community.
Yes, I'd rather be in person, so definitely the next one I will be.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No?
No, that was a great question, though.
Okay.
Can I get her last name? Does she have
Um,
Cecilia? Is it on the
Guadalupe?
Guadalupe?
So Guadalupe is your first name and Cecilia is
No,
your.
Cecilia is my first name and Guadalupe is my last.
Oh,
Cecilia
okay.
Guadalupe.
So Cecilia is her last name. Okay. Thank you.
No,
No.
Cecilia's her first name.
Cecilia is my
Cecilia's her
first name.
Oh,
Guadalupe is
Cecilia.
my
And Guadalupe is your last name.
Yes.
Oh. Guadalupe is her last name. Okay. Thank you. Sure.
So do we vote now?
So I could see her?
She'll be in a minute. Okay. So I have to open discussion. or-
Open for, we kind of been
Up,
discussing.
yeah. Open for discussion formally. Anything else? No comments? Okay, close discussion and roll call for vote.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin, Ms. Corolla,
Yeah.
Mr. Keelis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll say yes, Mr. DeJesus.
Yes.
10 yes, 0 no.
10 votes, motion passed. We have a new.
Congratulations, Cecilia. You
Welcome.
got work to do, mama. Welcome to the team.
Well, she heard everything and she's
gotta
still
give her the
there.
Welcome. We look forward to meeting you next month.
Okay, so next item in the agenda is new business. We don't have anything. And then final thoughts. I don't know if anyone wants to say something.
I do.
Go ahead.
I don't know who wrote the email. I don't know. I'm just new to all this, but it does upset me because me being a parent, I didn't even know there was whatever was in this email. I just know what my son told. And I think it's just upsetting that whoever is giving information, it could have been my son that they were giving. So I think that does need to be investigated just because if, as a parent, I would not want any information of my son
Mhm.
out there.
Absolutely.
That's just
Right.
it. I do want to thank all the team here at Steinmetz for all their great work. I know it's hard being a teacher, staff, and every single thing. So I just want to say thank you guys for everything.
Thank you.
I'd like to add something too.
Go ahead, Mr. Capuli.
I think I want to second what you said, and I want to second what you said. I don't want to say too much for Ms. Dunn, but I don't think anyone here empathizes with the destructive, despicable nature of disseminating false information. No one knows better than us what that is. I am completely with you guys about any intervention, investigation, whoever deals in the creation and the dissemination of false allegations that can ruin people's careers, and for which I've had personally to take on protection for myself and my family. Everyone in this room would have done the same thing. So same thing with that email. I agree. Just blatantly sending out false information that hurts this school and hurts this council and the functioning thereof. No one at this table, we've been here for 17 years. There is not a chance anyone in this building would say we know anything about this. In fact, we have been victims of profound misinformation sent to the highest levels of CPS, for which I had to protect myself and my family. I'm about to break down here. I totally agree. I don't know if it's the same people. But whoever that is should be ashamed of themselves, and they are, in my mind, cowards.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Mr. Caputi.
Can I
And,
just-
and I would just add, right, I think, like, we're all here because we care about the community, right? And we need to we adults need to stop being selfish, because when we become this way, who gets affected is the young people that are coming here, right? To get a better quality of education, a better quality of life, right? And Veronica, you're here, right? And you were with me when I was here years ago. We need help. We need some major help. Because the malicious that's here, it is to break people's families. It is to hurt people.
Couldn't agree more.
Mr. Caputi, I was FOIA 24 hours from the meeting with the intention that I would get scared and not be part of this council. Okay? I'm here because I love this school community. I know what this school community did for my two children that are today very successful. And you planted a seed because you were one of the teachers.
Yes, it was.
I was
all these
looking from the outside in, and it was still the same problem.
I agree.
And I only came in to fight the fight. And I don't care if Walter continues to FOIA me. I don't care if he continues to put false accusations at you. I ask you, Walter, to give me the opportunity to have coffee with you so you could see the intent in my heart. I'm not a mafia, and I'm not a person that's driven. I have nothing because I have left everything in this school and in the community I serve. And you will not scare me away from helping the school community and the students I love. But we need to be resilient in this table. Because we can't come into meetings and feeling stressed and we all have stressful jobs. To come here and sit in this table and feel what's going to happen to me tomorrow when I go into work.
Couldn't agree
Or
with
what's
you
going to
more.
happen to me because I'm involved in the school.
Couldn't agree
Like,
more.
it's not fair, right? So, Veronica, like, we need intervention, right? Like CPS needs
Needs
to
to do
put
something.
funds aside and help us and bring a third party, bring professionals. I know we're not the only school that's been trying to break this cycle. Taft did it. When you look back, Taft was the school that had bad reputation. No one wanted to be there, right? And then again, they're thriving. So I'm sure they had interventions. I'm sure they had help. And that's what we're asking for.
So I believe the first week of school, my chief was deployed here, right? Dr. Lee?
Mm-mm.
Fanny?
Oh yeah, she came for she's the one that visited Parent U and stuff.
She's our new chief for FACE.
Yeah.
So you all can reach out to her and direct her forward. We do have
What's Fanny's last name?
Alvarez?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can pull it.
I can
Did you
find
have
it.
the information? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Alvarez, her name is Fanny. She's our new chief of FACE. And then reach out to Director Ford. We have things put in place. The district has created a toolkit for this particular type of situation. And we have the resources to come in to provide the conversations that can lead to a plan to possibly get to the point where you all can respectfully have discussion and vote on matters that you need to vote on. So, I think Director Ford offered the opportunity, but I don't think it was, followed up. A lot of stuff happened after that. She came, I think, at the beginning of the school year and spoke to the LSC, but, a lot of things happened after that, and it was never followed up. So we could follow up with something, next week. Just reach out to her. And we have had multiple conversations with Dr. V over the summer. So
Yeah, the P.
yeah, so we could do something. you know, whereas
Right,
the LSC is a
Okay.
unit.
Because I think, right, we need intervention LSC, but then there's also the
Right.
broader
So
school
that's
community,
that's
right?
a whole different situation.
Yeah.
That's outside our purview. Our purview is LSC matters. So then that's something that, the people who move the needle need to have a conversation with the district on that. You know, that's network and district level. So our purview is only LSC matters.
So we will have to go to the network chief.
However you
fire.
wanna do it, let me see which, because I don't want you to reach out to somebody and then you have to go
Back to you.
back, no, not back to me, but that's the wrong
She's like,
person.
no.
Let me see
I'm sorry
who
if
you
I
need
said
to
anything.
go to. I don't have all the answers, but I can find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So what you're
I got the
saying
same
is you
feeling
need
as you that
some
somehow
resources to do
we're being-
recruitment.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not
more
sensing
dealing
that
with
shit.
the problem that we're having with this individual person that insults this council left and right. And
He's
we
screaming.
have to shut our mouth because nobody wants to help us. We have filed,
No, he's not.
and we have filed, I know that, Ms. Lopez, myself, we have filed for accusations that he has brought up. Now, I am still waiting for somebody from downtown to call me and tell me, we have this under investigation. Because all that he has put down are false accusations. And, you know, I sometimes keep my mouth shut just to avoid problems. But this mafia thing,
I'm not abreast on.
no.
The emails,
You don't
yeah,
wanna-
yeah.
No, you
Yes,
don't
I
wanna
know.
know.
You don't
I
wanna
have-
get them.
I have
I have
close
to
to
go.
500
It's 7:40,
emails
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
that I could give you hard copies of
I don't want to be rude and get up, but I.
and it's all about the same
What
thing.
were?
And I want to mention,
Gillis.
Walter's fine. He's not the only
Mr.
one.
Caputo.
No, he's not. He's not.
I'll take care of those.
Okay, so
Um,
I just wanna say, so as a principal, I read everything, right? So I know that I'm not required by Open Meetings Act to post the agenda on the school website. I'm only required to put it on the door. And that was a litmus test to see what's going on, right? To see how the information is getting there, only to see the agenda that I sent as a PDF was on Twitter with that staff member, with that individual.
That is the other
So that was interesting because I haven't been putting it on the website until after the meeting. However, the agenda and everything has been given as a PDF to this individual, and I only send it out to my LSC. So that's one, just so you guys know that I've been, just because I read the PAC, I have to respond. I respond as a lawyer to all of the PAC. That's why I know that we're in compliance of everything that we do, because I respond on behalf of the LSC. And then only to, then when we're talking about like being transparent, like having my discipline record FOIA'd by a staff member on the LSC, only to find, of course, nothing, because I do everything by the book. Just that's how my nature is, as you can see how I do my meetings. But that's interesting. We're talking about transparency only to find that my discipline record was FOIA'd by a staff member on this LSC. Also to find out that the PAC request that I have to respond to for an attorney general was put forward by an LSC member or staff member. But luckily I send the responses. We win everything, so we're good. But that's interesting that, just so you guys know, I haven't been posting the agendas on the school website for a reason. Because I'm not required to. I'm only required to put it on the doors and to send it to you guys. So just know that I read all the fine print. And that's why I don't have to turn on my video camera if I give it to you in a copy. So I know what to ask. I know how to ask the question. So if I print it, that's why I'm not presenting. I don't have to turn on the camera so that no one can see you guys. So, but that just gives you an idea that I haven't been posting things for a reason, because I wanted to see if exactly what is being said about it being leaked by a staff member was true, only to find out that the agendas were on Twitter. And I didn't post it on the school website for download. It was only sent by email, and to find out, I got FOIA notified me that my discipline record was FOIA, by a staff, because it gives you the name,
Yeah, I know.
and to find out that
Yeah.
that PACs by staff member, and then the response by the public attorney is like, you're on the LSC, why are you even putting a PAC request? You're PAC in your own LSC, you can't do that. So those are the things that I have to respond, and each response takes anywhere from 1 to 2 hours on top of my responsibilities as a principal. So like there was 5 PACs, that was 2 hours of meeting with law department and LSC relations because everything goes through law.
Right.
Just so you guys understand the process of a PAC. And then I write it, and I have to write it like if I'm a lawyer and respond because it's gonna be published in open meeting.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we're good. I've answered every
You're
PAC
doing
for
more
us, so
than-
we're good in FOIA
You're
and OMA and everything.
doing
But
John?
I just wanted to share that information that I'm not posting. Like everything I'm posting on the school website goes after the meeting.
Okay. Any more
That's why we need
questions?
intelligence.
Yes.
But that's why you guys won't see anything on the website.
I would like to present a motion to adjourn this exciting meeting.
I second it.
Open for discussion. Close discussion and roll call for vote, please.
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez, Ms. Marin, Ms. Girola,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Mr. Aquiles, we want to go.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes, I.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
I'll say yes. Mr. DeJesus.
Same vote, motion adjourned
Bye,
at
Ms. Guadalupe.
7:45. Thank you, have a good night.
We'll send you the invite. I'll include you in the invite. Yeah, it's always 5:30, the second Wednesday of the month, okay? I'll send you the calendar. Bye, thank you.